Take 10, marker.
Action.
The Player is a satirical film directed by Robert Altman and written by Michael Tolkien, adapted from a 1988 novel that he wrote. Tolkien had been a Hollywood screenwriter, TV writer, and director, having written for shows like the Animal House spinoff Delta House, as well as Taxi. He was incredibly disillusioned with having to go around pitching, writing screenplays, and working on giant teams of writers who were going around doctoring and rewriting screenplays. Particularly signified at a time when he saw a certain executive's eyes roll back in his head when he was pitching, and he had the thought, God, I'd be bored listening to me too. The novel The Player was inspired by James M. Cain, Patricia Highsmith, and a Late Show bit where they go around asking random people on the street in LA how things were going with their screenplays, and everyone had an answer. The original conceit for the novel was that a serial killer was going around killing writers of unfinished screenplays, but they couldn't find a pattern because everyone in LA had a screenplay. Eventually it became one murder. Named Griffin Mill has his life spiral out of control after he murders a writer.
If we can just get rid of these actors and directors, maybe we got something here.
Tolkien's publisher gave the finished novel to a friend who ran a New York business magazine, who cut out, turned it into a short story, and published that, which got the attention first of Chevy Chase and Mark Rydell, then of Robert Altman, who finally scored the rights to turn it into a movie. Altman was at a career slump at this point. I mean, we made a lot of jokes about Popeye, but it really did kick off a decade-long slump for Robert Altman, where he couldn't catch a break.
You don't like spinach?
I hate it.
Yeah. Eat this spinach.
Movies like O.C. and Stiggs, Streamers, and often considered his worst failure, Beyond Therapy. He went back to teaching, and as a professor, he used his students as a crew to make the Nixon one-man show Secret Honor, starring Philip Baker Hall as Richard Nixon.
They said they wouldn't buy a used car for me, but they gave me the biggest vote in American history. And then they flushed me down the toilet, and they wanted me to stay down.
He even co-wrote a country song, Black Sheep by John Anderson, which hit #1 on the country charts. By the end of the decade, Robert Altman was mainly back into TV, including directing the HBO miniseries mockumentary Tanner 88 with Gary Trudeau. Michael Tolkien says that he believes what attracted Robert Altman to his novel was he loved making movies about groups of people and institutions. He was really good with people who were locked into a particular hierarchy. It was also a way for him to get back at Hollywood for his bad decade in exile. Instead of taking a new track, Altman went with what he's best known for, really parodying his own work in a way. The entire movie is littered with cameo appearances. Anjelica Huston, Jeff Goldblum, Bruce Willis, John Cusack, Julia Roberts, Burt Reynolds, Susan Sarandon, Rod Steiger, Elliot Gould, Nick Nolte, Andi McDowell, Robert Wagner, Terry Garr, Peter Falk, Malcolm McDowell, Joel Grey, Sally Kirkland, Cher, Robert Carradine. The key to it all, according to Tolkien, was getting Harry Belafonte on board to make a cameo appearance, knowing everyone else would say they wanted to work with him as he was getting older at that point. The only cameo they couldn't get was Arnold Schwarzenegger. Many of the actors involved in The Player would appear in short cuts released the following year.
That's a thriller.
In The Player, Tim Robbins stars as Griffin Mill, a cynical and sleazy Hollywood executive who fears he's on the way out, as it's clear that changes are coming to the studio, especially with rumors that Larry Levy, an up-and-coming executive at Fox, is going to jump ship and come over, played by Peter Gallagher. Adding to his pressures at work is the fact that Mill begins receiving strange postcards that have vulgar threats on them. The Player stars Tim Robbins, Greta Scacchi, Fred Ward, Whoopi Goldberg, Peter Gallagher, Brian James, Cynthia Stevenson, Richard Grant, Gina Gershon, Sidney Pollack, Lyle Lovett, and Dean Stockwell, as well as Vincent D'Onfrio as David Kahane, the screenwriter of the Griffin Mill murders. The film parodies the relentless cutthroat vanity, fakeness, and pushiness of Hollywood studios. Roger Ebert called The Player the movie that Bonfire of the Vanities wanted to be. It is self-consciously an 8-minute tracking shot around the studio and back again without a cut, which purposely outpaces the 3.5-minute one at the beginning of Orson Welles' Touch of Evil.
You gotta run the...
The film is a meta-narrative about Hollywood itself and where the film industry is in the 90s, with the death of the writer referenced both literally and figuratively throughout the film. And the understanding that if the business-obsessed industry had their say, the death of the director and actor would come next, which is incredibly prescient for this moment where AI is banging at the door of the film industry. All leading you around to a final joke where Griffin Mill is being pitched the story we've just watched as head of the studio in the form of a movie within the film's meta-narrative called The Player. Before I introduce the panel, please like this video and subscribe to the Movie Night Extravaganza YouTube channel. Then hit that bell to get notified whenever we're streaming. Super chats are now open. If you have any pressing questions, send us a super chat, which helps me maintain the expenses for the show, which I am obligated by the rules of the Geneva Convention to stop everything and ask the panel. Another way to help us out is to become a patron and give us money every month. In exchange, you get access to all of our after parties, bonus content, and we'll tell you even more movies we watched recently. Patreon.com/Movie Night Extra. We have a Movie Night Extravaganza Discord. There's an invite link in the episode description, and we have a Letterboxd HQ account. So those are 2 more places to follow along with us. Okay, let me introduce the illustrious panel. We are live right now on This Space. If you aren't following them, join This Space TV on YouTube. Link below. Conan Neutron is the co-host and senior producer for Movie Night Extravaganza, host of Protonic Reversal, an independent Film Critics of America film critic, and the frontman for the band Conan Neutron and the Secret Friends. Check out his music at neutronfriends.bandcamp.com. Kristina Oakes is a co-host of Movie Night Extravaganza, a streamer on Twitch, twitch.tv/cosmopolitics, a host at This Space, hosting Kristina's Corner, and is across social media at Cosmopolitics and on Letterboxd at Kristina. Ian Miller is the bassist for Kowloon, Walled City, Strange Light, and B. Hamilton, and formerly co-host of the Rigs of Dad podcast. I, of course, am your host and a studio executive who's here to kill the writers, directors, and actors, Forrest Miller. No fucking stars, just talent. No Hollywood ending.
Fantastic. I love that you got the substance right there with you, too. Great. That's very timely.
Yeah, you got to change that photo, Forrest.
Ian, welcome back. It's been a bit, man. Thanks for coming back on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm thrilled to chop it up with you guys about this amazing movie with an amazing cast. Love Altman. The cast is just bonkers. The movie is so much fun. Loved it.
I think last time Ian was on was when
Great show, everybody. Later.
Bye.
I think we can all agree.
I think last time I was on, Ian was on when I had COVID and we were covering Stalker, and I found out 10 minutes before the show that I had COVID, and I was like, oh no,
wow. Yeah.
And I'd been streaming for the whole week with COVID and like hadn't picked up on it, I guess.
So this is interesting to me. I'm kind of curious as to when everyone first engaged with this. This was the first Altman that I ever saw. Caveat, that wasn't Popeye.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was gonna say that too, honestly, because Popeye is the first Altman ever saw. I was like
exactly.
young,
which I thought was great when I was like 7 or something. Yeah, you know.
I don't know, I felt because it's like, oh, Robert Williams, perfect casting, but no, I think I saw this like when I was like a teenager. I think.
I remember my dad being bummed. He was like not stoked at all. I was like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "Nothing." I was like, "Oh, okay."
I think it was Popeye, then MASH, because we liked grew up watching the show with my pop-up, and then found out the movie existed. Obviously, he knew, and then The Player. So
I went shortcuts pretty soon after The Player, which I also love, and I think is due for a resurgence. Frankly, especially with how much everyone is all about Magnolia, which is basically Paul Thomas Anderson's Shortcuts. You mean? Great, and I like that movie. But Ian, how about yourself?
I think this was probably early. I mean, MASH was just sort of ambient with the television show and obviously the motion picture. I probably saw The Player somewhere in there early, like certainly before any of the late period, like Gosford Park stuff or anything like that. I do also have a warm spot in my heart for OC and Stiggs that came out of that weird Lampoon world, that also produced Vacation and all that all that other weird stuff. So yeah, just an American original. There will never be another like Altman.
I mean, they were these two, meaning the they in question, were flabbergasted that I let him do Long Goodbye when I was out on tour, because it's like, wow, you're gonna let us do an Altman without you? I was like, that's how giving I am. Which is a great episode, by the way. I listened to it voraciously. But yeah, I mean, Altman's one of my favorites, like for sure. And it took me a long time to see Nashville, McCabe and Miss Miller, so on and so on. But it's very, very consistent, very interesting. I love that this is sort of his comeback / excoriation of Hollywood at the same time, because it's so perfect.
Look what you made me do.
I was mentioning it in the chat, right? Exactly. That the opening little tableau. I didn't catch this before, but I was like, oh, that's like a homage to Sunset Boulevard, which was the last episode we just did, by the way.
Yeah.
Like if you see like the bald guy with the camera, and you have the whole. I was like, oh my god, it's totally Sunset Boulevard. I never caught that.
How would this movie connect to Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
I know. I'll work on that.
There's also when he gets the phone call from the police guy that's like, fucking with him and trying to get him to join whatever. He uses the William Holden name from Sunset Boulevard, and he's like,
what's that? He's like, Sunset Boulevard, duh.
Yeah.
But I love
the time they're doing the scene in the boardroom. There's a Sunset Boulevard poster behind them.
Well, and I know we're gonna kind of go through the plot and all that, but I just got to say as an aside, I love how little Griffin Mill actually knows about movies. Like, he's never seen Bicycle Thief, and he is sort of internally noting how he would change it to make it a hit. Amazing.
Yeah.
There's so many, which is just no, oh my god, no, everything that the Vincent D'Onfrio, by the way, writer, is saying 100% right, 100% right. Yeah.
Well, you guys are just gonna change the ending. Of Bicycle Thief. Yeah.
And it's like, look what he's thinking about that. So anyway, I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but yeah, spoiler alert, top 5 favorite movie for me. So,
just going through the timeline, right? I was thinking about this because I was watching. I think I was watching it as self-harm, but I was watching Tarantino talk about his history with Altman films. I think I was doing that.
What a time to engage with Quentin Tarantino right now.
But well, sure. Well, we're gonna be engaging with him when we do that movie later this month. So
yeah. That's gonna do numbers.
so his first, the first level of Altman, right? MASH in 1970.
Yeah.
And then Brewster McCloud, McCabe and Mrs. Miller, Long Goodbye, that whole time period, and then Nashville in 1975, which is people are still referencing it constantly today, including us.
Yeah.
But Three Women, a wedding, and then Popeye, and then he obviously has this whole fall off, which people talk about Secret Honor a lot now because it's one of the greatest Nixon.
Well, because there was kind of a Criterion resurgence, right? Because it came out on Criterion, and it sort of started being on these lists of great movies that just have one person talking, or whatever, weird obscure lists and things like that. People kind of discovered it from there, but it was completely unknown to me for years. And it is funny too. Well, we mentioned He Who Should Not Be Named, because there's a lot of Altman as well as a lot of Howard Hawks in what Quentin Tarantino does. And I think he'd be the first one to acknowledge that.
Yeah. Then, it's also interesting. I think he's one of the first big directors that comes out of TV. And because that line between TV and movies kind of started to blur in that time period, where before that, it was no, you're either a TV person, a soap opera actor, or, a soap opera director, or a sitcom director or something. Sometimes you get, if you're really lucky, it's your show gets canceled and people want it so badly that you can pitch to a movie executive hey, can we make a spinoff of this? And then sometimes they're well, people seem to want it, but you do not get that very much. MASH is a big example of it, right? Where it's that comes out of, people really, really liking that show at the time, and it being in the zeitgeist so much with Vietnam and everything. And, he could have retired and stepped back and kind of, not done very much, but it's so prolific that he ended up getting a number 1 on the country chart. He co-wrote a country music song that hit the top of the charts. We
talked about that. We did Nashville. Yeah. That was
he was
crazy.
Writing.
But he was also, that's a late period success for him. He had done TV for so long before he even did his first movie. Then when MASH hit, and like again, I knew it from the show, and then like went back to the movie, which knocked me over the feather when I heard the freaking lyrics to the song. I was like, "Suicide is painless." What the? Oh my God, this is dark as hell.
This song doesn't have any lyrics.
Song?
What are you talking about?
Exactly.
It's like that one Queen song. Don't try suicide. Nobody's worth it. It's like, what?
What are we doing here? Yeah.
I mean, it was
but
so brilliant too because both the Korean War kind of veterans that were like the parents at this time period, right, could connect with that side of it because so many like older people had entered the Korean War at that point, and people were getting drafted into Vietnam, and so like putting a Korean War kind of think about the Korean War, which is already the forgotten war, obviously making it about Vietnam,
making it about Vietnam, sure,
yeah.
Well, and it's interesting too to have that epoch of time, and then sort of like ended abruptly with Popeye, which was almost an Ishtar style, like banished from Hollywood, story, and then coming back to this, and this is where I came in, and I was like, oh, this is like a really dark comedy. Like Brazil was another favorite of mine, right? That was one, and I was an early adopter for that one. Of these kind of like really like. This is funny, but wow, this is like really bleak as well. And I didn't have any frame of reference for any of that. I didn't know it was the MASH guy. I didn't know anything about it, but I knew it was awesome. I was like, oh wow, this is different than other things I've seen before. But you have to. I feel like you have to kind of know movies to like really get it. Like I got something way more out of it second time I saw it, let's put it that way, where I had more of like the references for things. Like I had seen Sunset Boulevard, I had seen various noirs and things along those lines, where I like, first time I saw it, I recognized 10% of like the freaking celebrity cameos, maybe. I wasn't noticing Jack Lemmon at the piano. I'm like, that's Jack Lemmon.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm really curious, like Ian's reaction to some of this, because obviously, like, your dad was a screenwriter. Like, your dad managed to at least sell, scripts. Like, how did this resonate with you because of that? Because it's really parodying even more than like the 90s, because it's 92, right? Like, it's parodying like the 80s more than anything, like that decade, which is the same time that like your dad was working kind of in this industry too.
Yeah, it's funny because Dad was selling scripts into the 2000s, but gosh, we were never in that LA milieu. Like, he was New York based, worked in daytime TV for most of his career. So he was one of those, TV guys that you were referring to earlier on. The thing that struck me this time was, and I'm sure we're going to get into this because how could we not? Was just how perfectly appropriate this film is for the moment with AI.
Yeah.
When the new leadership comes in, I just couldn't help but think about this all in terms of, and you already showed the one of the classic highlights is Tim Robbins saying, what if let's get rid of the writers and the actors and the directors. That's exactly what this industry is looking to do. And I just couldn't not react to that the entire time I was watching it.
Yeah. That line in itself, right? Like, and I'm guessing like there's no, it's not necessarily prescient in the sense that like, like no one was going to be like, oh, they're going to use this AI technology for, like obviously AI has been ubiquitous throughout kind of science fiction, but I don't think that people were like, hey, maybe we could use this at this time, right? To just
it wasn't in the news every day. Yeah. There wasn't an AI actor like looking for representation on the internet. It's so much more advanced than even was like last time I saw this. And I suppose I should note, just for folks that are unfamiliar, of course, Ian's father wrote a little movie called Friday the 13th. Maybe you've heard of.
Yeah.
Guilty as charged. Yeah, but it was
amazing.
Yeah, amazing. But it was the soap opera stuff.
That's what paid the bills, I'm sure. Yeah, right.
The Queen, Betsy Palmer. Thank you for shouting her out. But yeah, it was the daytime TV stuff that put me through college and my brother. So
yeah, big fan of daytime soaps.
Yeah, like I feel like Altman obviously being like in the 70s, right? Like an insider, but the 70s so different than the 90s when it comes to artistic freedom. Like the reason that those lines were able to be blurred was that the studio system fell apart and it was no longer this, which is kind of, we romanticize it now, but like there was decades of kind of this, but it's like an even more sleazy kind of version of it, right? Where it's like these guys sitting in a room, and if you don't get along with one of them, like you're never selling a script again.
Yeah, right. Which one could argue there was aspects of that earlier, but it really came to prominence here. And also just the whole thing that's, again, within the movie of like, well, do we even need a script? Let's pull something from real life events, which is like, oh my God, that's like, 90% of like what's happening now. And it's like, it's all kind of like,
the irony is even Larry Levy would probably be replaced by AI at some point now.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
He's coming up
Not
with
his eyebrows, but
even the people representing the AI will get replaced by AI, because I saw an article of that about the
Yo dog, heard you liked AI.
Yeah, like that. What's her name? Tilly Yearwood or whatever the fuck her name is. The woman who created her is representing her. It's like, oh, actors, don't worry, AI ain't gonna replace you.
No, there we
And it's
go.
like,
well,
we love all those bands too.
So my brother's working at IBM right now, and started to get the feeling as they're getting him to program stuff that he's programming himself out of existence. Maybe like,
of course,
that's like that's the point that we're at with the AI stuff. But in the creative field, it's especially bankrupt because it's like they're like a computer doesn't have creativity; it can only take from things that already exist. You give it a prompt maybe, and maybe you have an idea in the prompt, but like it can only take materials from already existing stuff and can just like steal it. And that's going to probably be regulated, that part, at some point, because not for people like us, where it's like if you make something on like YouTube or something, of course it's still going to be able to steal it. But I think at one point the studios,
if you have intellectual property lawyers, maybe not. Yeah, and that's what's so interesting, that if you could tell AI to make a script like The Player, and it would make something that's similar to it, but the raw humanity of it, and like the self-referential thing you mentioned in the intro, like the homage to Touch of Evil, like the long shot, the big panning shot, that is in fact a longer shot than the actual Touch of Evil shot being discussed. Yeah. Amazing. But that's a layer of you have to be just ensconced in this world of film and really like live it and love it to have that level of thing while The Graduate 2 is being pitched, and while like you have these other like ridiculous, where it's like it's to be too much, like the AI wouldn't be able to do it. It would do like maybe one of those things like at like 20% the capacity. And so that's what makes us so deeply human too, because there is a deep dark cynicism coming from Altman about this, that he's usually the one having to be in these pitch meetings and like being told no and like having to change things, and he's the first one to admit that like he change it if it means it gets done. And I think that's that level of self-awareness for someone that had been on both sides of the industry for so long is really what led this to resonate so much, where people are like, yeah, do be like that though,
especially now considering Larry Ellison owning Paramount could also own Warner Brothers, and he's even saying that he's going to make big changes to CNN. He's going to make changes to whatever movies are going to be made. Like it's anyway.
Well, and that's talking about ripping the headlines, by the way. But anyway, I just want to say
Warner Brothers archive deleting anything that he's like, this character seems like they're not pro-Israel enough. He just deletes it.
If they delete Wizard of Oz,
God damn. But we're talking about The Player. We're not talking about the studio. I do enjoy the TV show The Studio with Seth Rogen. That is a
like that
spiritual sequel to The Player, and even has what's his Breaking Bad? What's his name? I can't remember his name right now. The character's name is Griffin Mill, and he's like the studio head. So it's like in all the ways that matter, it is a sequel to The Player, and it is lovely. I enjoyed that show very much, and the farcical nature of it. But you see very little.
There's also
hold on. So I was just gonna say, but we don't see that kind of thing, because the thing is, as much as Hollywood loves movies about movies and movies about movie making, it doesn't like having the comedy directed inwardly very much.
Yeah. There's also a literal sequel to The Player called The Return of the Player, where he's trying to secure Griffin Mill is trying to turns to murder again because he's trying to secure his retirement bonus. And he has to bump people out of the way because
is this a book? What is this?
Yeah, it's a Michael Tolkien book.
That's
it hasn't been turned into a movie. But his like original thing, right? He like Michael Tolkien obviously is one of these guys who had not. I think he had one script or two scripts that he had sold previous to this, right? Like, and he also did like short films, but he was in TV originally. And did like the Delta House, Animal House.
I didn't know there was a sequel to Animal House, by the way.
Yeah, it's like TV show. And he also did.
I vaguely remember hearing about that.
Yeah. I've seen it when I was really young. I think I saw it. but it was like short lived. And then he also did episodes of like Taxi, right? Like, so he was going around Hollywood trying to sell scripts, and he literally was pitching this idea to somebody, like an executive, and he saw their eyes roll back in their head, like, this guy is like bored as fuck listening to me right now. And he was thinking about it. He's like, I'd be bored listening to me right now. Like, I'm trying to do my 25 words or less kind of pitch, but like droning on and on, because obviously no one can actually do the 25 words or less pitch, which is, you know, a big part of this. So he starts writing The Player, which the original story is that Griffin Mill is a serial killer, and he's going around bumping off writers, but he can't, like, the police can't find who the person, who the serial killer is, because everybody has a script. So they can't find a pattern within the entirety of Hollywood, because every time they talk to someone, they're like, oh, actually, I'm working on a script. Like anybody they talk to.
Anyone could be, anyone.
Yeah.
Which is very clever and very funny, you know. Yeah.
Eventually, he makes it so that it's one writer that gets murdered, and he has like a manager that's looking at this thing. He's not telling anyone that he's even writing it. And he was talking in this interview. I really liked this interview. He was talking about how his friend was telling everyone what page of what novel, like, he's writing a novel, like one of his friends. It was constantly like, oh, I'm on chapter 5, and he's like, oh, I'm not. If I fail at this, everyone's gonna know I failed at this. Not, you know, already not doing that well in Hollywood. And so he writes this whole thing out, and the New York Business Press picks it up and runs the Larry Levy parts as like a satire of the industry within the trade publications. So the first guy to see it is Chevy Chase. So there's a version of this that Chevy Chase was trying to pitch, where it would have been Chevy Chase playing the Tim Robbins role, not directed by Robert Altman. And Warner Brothers like, listen, we love the idea, don't love Chevy Chase.
In this case, they're ahead of the curve. Yeah.
So finally, you know, Robert Altman gets the script, and you know, he's in purgatory, but he manages to secure Harry Belafonte, saying that he will come in for a scene, and from there, everything kind of starts working together from there, because people really want to work with Harry Belafonte, because, you know, he's 65 at this point. He's talking about retiring from music. He's talking about retiring from you know, film. So everyone's like, this might be the last chance to work from. And then of course Harry Belafonte ends up living like 30 something years after that.
Yeah, I know his sister Gina, his daughter Gina.
I was actually, so I was looking up, like, he didn't retire. Like, at no point did Harry Belafonte actually retire from doing music.
No,
so
he kept working until
he managed to sell this as like, hey, you might never get to work for Harry Belafonte again. Then Harry Belafonte lives way longer than Robert Altman.
Yeah, he does liberal activism for a bunch of Democratic presidents, so on and so on. I want to get you in on this, but I also just want to mention this is also a rare echelon of movies that largely center writers, even not being about writers. So, of course, you know, Barton Fink's a perfect example. Adaptation is one that comes up sideways. Trumbo. There's a bunch of movies that are about writers doing the thing, but it's interesting how much this is about writing, but also about like how they think that they don't need writers, and so again, meta-contextual in a movie. It's already meta-contextual in multiple ways. But yeah, I'm curious to hear your comments on any of that.
One more thing before going to Ian and hearing, you know, his response to any of this stuff. The other thing is that Michael Tolkien managed to get himself as a producer on this. So
nice.
He actually got to, you know, he was like, I'm not going to be one of those writers that gets blocked out from set.
From the process.
You know, So, but Ian, any thoughts?
any of the last 20 minutes of show you want to comment on?
I do have thoughts. Forrest, are Tolkien and his brother also? Do they have cameos, especially in that?
They're the writers where he's in the couch. Tim and his brother. You're right. Yeah. That's that amazing. Are like the brother team of writers that are and like. I guess he was saying. It's a great scene. And he was saying, like, I wanted to get acting more, and then I actually saw myself on screen. I was horrified.
That's awesome. It was funny. I hadn't watched this in a really long time. And I realized in my own sort of mind palace, I had conflated a lot of this with the Swimming with Sharks. Which
another great movie. Yes.
Another great film, but only from the sort of studio side. And there's almost none of the creative part in there. And it was surprising to me, even having seen it, how much they centered the writers and how much this was from the perspective of and about the writer. As you said, like you mentioned Trumbo already, but there's not a whole lot of films that give the writer any kind of air.
And ones that do tend to go sort of like up their own ass a lot.
Hollywood loves talking about Hollywood and self-aggrandizing, and this one really didn't do that. It was really just about deflating, taking the air out of everything.
And it was interesting for us, again, after having just done Sunset Boulevard, that Cincher's a struggling screenwriter. You know, it's like, oh, I'm sensing a theme here. Also, by the way, Swimming to Sharks. Do you remember who starred in that, Ian? Who was it that starred in that?
No.
Anybody?
Nope. Nobody comes to mind. It's just a big
I don't think it was a name.
Yeah, just a void.
I'm reading this Kevin next topic.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, great movie though. Really good.
Doesn't look like anything to
came
me.
in wet.
Yeah, it was. It's the same guy who directed Rosemary's Baby. Oh, okay, cool.
No one?
No,
Exactly. Nobody started that.
The problem with Kevin Spacey is that he's great in everything that he's in.
He's so good. Swimming to the Sharks, especially. He's so
Phenomenal.
good. Like, you get why like he was working so much. You're like, oh, he's so badass in this, and you're like,
There's so many people
on.
that have been canceled or whatever, like been whatever you want to call it, right? That like you're like, I could take it or leave it. But with like someone like Kevin Spacey, is like, damn, brother, you couldn't have just held on. Like you could.
Like we talked around it when we did Glenn Ross, because it's not like a main character in it. But man, yeah, it's tough, dude. Also, no else is tough. American Beauty. Moving on. No, but I think that's interesting because we just we're talking about a world that like people that are not like in the industry or like movie nerds like we are and our listeners are. Sometimes they think like the actors are just saying whatever comes into their mind, which is like. What? It's like what? And then like when you're dealing with something like that, and you're coming from a world of creativity, you're like, how could you possibly think that? But you think about it, well, you never see them on the screen. At least with the directors, well, the director's in the name, right? You're directing the things. The producer's in the name. You're producing the thing. With the writer, it's like, oh, writing? What? And
there's that line in Sunset Boulevard where he says,
right.
Audiences just think the actors make it up.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. No. It's well. So it's nice to see. It's nice to see something that shows how important the writer is, but not by just like clunking you over the head with it, you know. And then have the ridiculous conceit of, well, maybe we don't need a writer at all. You know, read me something from the newspaper. I'm like, oh my God, here's how it starts. Great. And that's 90% of our slop now, you know, except for now it's AI doing it.
We see throughout this entire movie, right? I mean, like on screen, we see some, directors or people that have directed movies. You never really see directors in this movie. You see executives sitting around the table.
Execs.
You see
You see stars that are usually pissed at those execs.
Yeah. And
Malcolm McDowell, his scene in this rules so hard.
And it's so funny that they have Malcolm McDowell and Andy McDowell, and they make the
Oh, that's right.
I know. When I read that, I was like, wait a minute, their name, they're not related. Their last names are spelled differently.
And then the other guy, the guy played by Dean Stockwell is also named Andy. So you have like this really like kind of sleazy kind of thing where it's like, she's my namesake, and it's like Malcolm McDowell, and he's like, oh, this other McDowell. Like they're doing this like constant repetition of like names, constant like which is really just a dick measuring contest. Oh, like my cousin knows this guy, I know this. Like they're doing like literally a dick measuring contest, but in this weird rhythmic like
it's very Altman. It's very Altman.
Conscious.
Kind of. Well, and it builds on what he did in Nashville, especially, and also in Shortcuts. That he builds on that kind of cumulative effort of like having these overflowing conversations. You have the mics up on everybody, and then you kind of move the volume up here, move the volume down there, as you kind of go in and out of conversations. That makes it feel like a real living room that has people talking in it rather than people reading lines. And this is maybe a better application of that than Nashville, because Nashville, like sort of the overwhelming nature of it is the point. He's also kind of creating the form while doing it. But this is a great application of it where that's what it's like being in those kinds of rooms. You know, like you have all kinds of things being discussed.
I listen to the Nashville soundtrack like just as like a soundtrack.
It's good.
Like
it's
still really good.
Must be doing something right to last 200 years. Yeah.
I want to read this quote though, because I was reading this really good online interview with Michael Tolkien talking about this, like the process of this, right? And he's like, the person asked, "What do you think attracted Robert Altman to your novel?" And he said he loved making movies about groups of people and institutions. He was really good with people who are locked into a particular hierarchy. And I like that. Like, and then you obviously also said, to get revenge on Hollywood for kicking him out for a decade. But like, there is that thing where it's not the individual actors in this. I mean, they suck. Not literally actors, but the individual, like players for the
titular players.
Right?
Yeah.
They suck, but they are locked into this hierarchy. Like, and they move up and down based on the sleaziness and badness of their decisions and what they can really sell.
Power moves and all that.
But like,
absolutely.
it's not. It doesn't feel like you're looking at this and going. It looks like if they got rid of Griffin Mill, if they just axed him from the story, right, there would just be another Griffin Mill. They would just
immediately.
Yeah,
absolutely. Like in the mailroom or something. It doesn't even matter.
It would be the guy who got gonorrhea. I mean, those guys are completely fungible.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's like again, multiple man or something. There's a new one generates immediately.
Which I mean, which also goes for the president of the studio gets lopped off in the end and just replaced by Griffin Mill. It's like you think that maybe there's somebody, because the whole time you're kind of hearing these rumors like in the trades that they're like, oh, Larry Levy's gonna be replacing Griffin Mill, which obviously he doesn't. And then Griffin Mill gets to replace the head of the studio, and it's like the president of the studio, who's just another person on a board. I mean, like it's the CEO thing where it's like you can just vote the CEO out. Like
it's all like a big game of musical chairs, really, and it's the machinations, like Art of War style, are like not even like the main plot point, but are like also ubiquitous at the same time, which is kind of a good script. And I think if there's anything that some folks knock on some of the Altman stuff is that sometimes the writing is takes a backseat to the vibes, right? And the vibes are great. So of course it's if you're into a vibes movie, awesome. But in this case, like the writing is so strong on this one that like you can't. It's not what they call second screen entertainment. Is that horrific term that they came up with? Like you have to engage. Like you're not going to be able to throw this one on and go to sleep.
And this is why I'm worried about when Netflix buys Warner Bros. Because they're just going to produce slop that's catered to people who like to scroll on their phones all day and.
Yeah, it's
anyway.
Please, I don't want to commit harikiri on stream, but I will if I need to.
It's gonna be all Emily in Paris all the time.
Right, exactly.
When is her visa expiring? By the way, the fifth season's happening. From what I've heard,
this broad's been kicking around Paris for years.
I like the idea of somebody going, and they're like, it's like Emily in Paris meets Amelia Perez.
Oh,
and they're like, all right.
Oh my god! All right, where's my sword? Where's my gun? Where's my sword? Where's my gun? Yeah,
but
not great.
I like listening to as many interviews with writers and like being kind of fascinated by that process, right? As much as I have, and directors, like especially for the show, there's so much of this thing where you have to either take like it's not just 25 words or less anymore. It's you have to take two things and say it's like this, it's like this, and it's
things that are not only known but popular.
But is it funny? Yeah, it's funny.
Pop you.
Oh yeah. Is there action? Oh, there's lots of action. Is it sexy?
Yeah.
Oh yes, very sexy. Like
a lot of these people have been writing like a spec script that's unfinished too, and it's like
right. Like what do you need? That's what it is, kid. Yeah.
Have to like go on there, go on their head and go, okay, what did I say that this was going to be?
Yeah. He's like, what does this guy want? Is there a giant spider in it? Oh yes, absolutely. There's a giant spider in it.
This is as far as I, in my head at least, can think of it. Like this is the first movie that like really references that thing where it's like this meets this.
Yeah.
It's like this, and that's how you have to pitch it. And everybody involved with this knows that's how you have to pitch it. So their ideas are already coming from that place where it's like all the way back like in the 90s and the 80s where it's like, oh, it's like this meets this. And it's, and then you have to add like the other things, which that amazing monologue that Tim Robbins gives at the end where he's like, oh, the movie's got to have, comedy and action and sex and like all these things he's looking for. And it's like,
it's politely politically radical. Oh, that's good because radical political scares me and political scares me. Where it's like, what are words? Like, what are you talking about anymore?
Political doesn't scare him. It's only political.
Yeah, politically political. Oh, okay. Thanks for clarifying.
But they get more and more ridiculous throughout the opening scene, where it's like, oh, it's like Ghost, and then everyone's trying to cast Bruce Willis and Julia Roberts, which is such a funny bit. And then at the end, like I remember the first time I saw this all the way through because I've seen scenes from it, and then I remember we did it for this is Revolution, and this is the first time I've seen the entirety of the movie. Right, I've seen the opening a whole bunch of times. I've seen parts of like different parts of it. I've seen the Vincent D'Onfrio dying a bunch of times, but like sitting down and actually watching the entirety of it, like the the part of it where it's literally they're literally making the movie that they're the habeas corpus that they're pitching the entire time, that they're like no stars, just talent, and then you see the
happy endings,
happy endings.
And it's
Oh
literally
God!
Peter
Take
Falk,
me back to that after party.
Peter Falk, Susan Sarandon are like the first two people you see, which it makes sense. Tim Robbins, Susan Sarandon, but then you also it goes
Did
back
they
farther.
meet on this?
And Peter, so Peter Falk. Peter Falk is obviously just like instantly recognizable. And Susan Sarandon, like, oh, and you don't know you're watching a movie at first. You're like, wait, what? And then you see like a whole, other, and then you're like, oh, we're watching the movie that they made. And then you see Richard E. Grant, which, by the way, I love the story of how Richard E. Grant ended up in this movie.
Ooh, I don't know this. I need to know.
So they were just talking about like who was going to play that role, and they were at a screening shoot. I can't remember what it was for something that they in this question being Tim Roberts and Robert Altman, and like Tim Robbins is like Richard E. Grant is like walking by. He's walking to the same screening, and he's like, "Oh, Richard E. Grant, man, I really love that guy. We should totally get him for the movie." And like Robert Altman's like, "All right," and like walks over and like talks to him. And little did Tim Robbins know that apparently they've been talking together for years and trying to get something going, because he was like they were both huge fans of each other. And it's like, there you go, he's in the movie.
That's phenomenal.
They just randomly ran into him.
Mental.
His stuff, his like looking at his bio, like his stuff around this time is so amazing. Hudson Hawk, Bram Stoker's Dracula.
It was at the Hudson Hawk premiere. That's where it was. It was at the premiere of Hudson Hawk.
I still think Richard E. Grant,
directed by friend of the show Michael Lehman, who's been on twice for Airheads and for Heathers.
Yeah, the one movie we haven't had him on for is
he's offered to come on for it. We should totally do it.
I will.
Age of Innocence, Portrait of a Lady, all just very different movies, right? In this list, and we gotta get this very polite British guy kind of to. I guess, yeah.
But he's also How to Get Ahead in Advertising with Nail, and I mean, like his indie stuff is amazing. That's I want to give a shout out for that.
He's a
Kristina,
treasure.
I didn't mean to railroad it.
I still think Richard E. Grant's best role, classic Loki.
Loki classic. He was great as that too, because they even did the OG Glorious 60s outfit. Like it was like, oh, they even got the outfit right. That's amazing, because it looks so stupid in as a dude wearing an outfit, but that's like the point, right? And
I like when they did that, and like even with WandaVision as well, like the classic looks.
Well, and that's Moorhead and Benson wrote that season.
Awesome.
Which for those that I can't believe we've never done a movie by those guys, but they've done Coherence and The Endless and Synchronic, Something in the Dirt, Resolution. Anyway,
that one was good.
Yeah, really good. Really, I really like those guys. Every time I see a movie by them, I'm like, that's good too. That's also good. That's additionally good. Anyway, so if you like the Disney Plus content show Loki, you can blame / give credit to them, because they're the ones that basically turned into this is the best season of Doctor Who I've ever seen. Compliment, Anywho, so
hard to find a plot summary that really does it justice. That's what I'm trying to do right now.
Okay, I mean, I can start it off if you want. I've seen this movie 50 times.
I like doing the. All right, this is the IMDb one.
Okay, all right.
Griffin Mill. I want to say Mills. I always want to say it as a plural. There's two of them.
Like General Mills?
Yeah. Griffin Mill is the studio
General Mills, everybody.
Dating story editor Bonnie Schroe. He
Our
hears the
sponsor.
story pitches from screenwriters, decides which have potential to be made into films, greenlighting only 12 out of 50,000 submissions every year. His job is endangered, but up-and-coming story executive Larry Levy, played by Peter Gallagher, begins working at the studio. Mill has also been receiving death-threatening postcards. I guess that's right. Assuming to be from a screenwriter whose pitch he rejected.
Postcards, what are those?
Great use of the postcards in here. My favorite one is the Bogart one. I was like, wow, I would like to have that postcard on my wall. That's a great postcard.
Is that the one that says, I'm going to kill you? I can't remember.
Yes, it does. I would like if it said, I'm going to kill you on the back, because then I would know it's from my favorite movie.
Did y'all know that Altman wrote those himself? Everybody knows that, right?
I love that. That's
so good.
Awesome. Because it does have kind of this guy looks like he's pretty angry, with just the handwriting, it's good. But it's also legible, which is great.
It's given Regina George writing, "This is the nastiest skank bitch I've ever seen." Writing insult, do not trust her. She is a fugly slut. And she just put the photo of somewhere.
So this goes to we were talking about the long shot earlier. That's what's happening here. Is you have you're passing in on conversations. There's pitch meetings. There's the touch of evil shot being discussed. Like all of this is sort of happening and congruent with like a large portion of our characters all on screen at the same time, but not at the same time in that very distinctly Altman way, and in a way that both is homaging and improving on the touch of evil shot in a very clever way. So when I mentioned that earlier, that's what this is from.
Well, at the same time, you get the great Fred Ward character, Walter. Walter
Phenomenal.
Who's the he's one of the first things you hear him say is my dad worked on the set for Touch of Evil, and he was like, he was on the camera crew or whatever. Mill surmises that the disgruntled writer is David Kahane, played by Vincent D'Onfrio.
Which I forget every time I see this, and I've seen this movie like a dozen times. I'm like, oh yeah, it's Vincent D'Onofrio.
It looks nothing like the Vincent D'Onofrio that we all know.
I was like, wait a minute, is this not the...
I mean, you have to see him in like the Full Metal Jacket, like full Metal Jacket, right? Because he embodies that role so much. Seeing him in anything else is kind of like a mind fuck.
He was great as Kingpin, though.
Mill lurks around Kahane's home.
Yeah, that's what I was like, Kingpin, is that you?
Kahane's girlfriend, June Goodman's daughter, which nobody can apparently pronounce, whom he watches while talking to her on the phone. That Kahane is at a showing of The Bicycle Thief. Mill goes to the theater, pretending to recognize Kahane in the lobby after the film, and offers him a script writing deal, hoping this will stop the threats. The two go to a nearby bar and have some drinks. Kahane gets intoxicated and rebuffs Mill's offer. He calls Mill a liar, pointing out that he knows Mill didn't really go to the theater to see The Bicycle Thief because Kahane saw Mill wander in late and only catch the last 5 minutes of it. It denies responsibility for sending Mill the postcards. Kahane continues goading Mill about his job security at the studio. In the parking lot, the two men fight. Mill loses his balance and falls, feeling threatened, kills Kahane, and then makes the death look like a robbery gone wrong.
So a couple things. First of all, that's a lot of plot to have one paragraph. Secondly, so it only catches the very end of The Bicycle Thief and kind of like extrapolates like, oh, I think I know what the rest of this movie was, which is a pure executive mind. As well, and I not glossing over the going to the house. It's a 3-sided house, and they specifically picked this place because of the visuals of they wanted to have like he's outside and like she's inside, and it's so cool. Like it's so cool that they use that good location scouting for that, right? That's like, oh no, because then you get that interesting visual that they're talking. By the way, in a pre-cell phone age. Like nowadays that shot would be nothing, but here it was like splitting the atom, right? It was like crazy to have that in there.
They're very, very rare.
And you get the sort of the Chekhov's girlfriend here, and that's
you also get the whole the fact that it's Pasadena, right? Which is like the scene is like so far outside of the world of Hollywood. They're like, oh, he went all the way to Pasadena, and then you get the great line, Pasadena is as good a place to die as any.
Yeah, that's a great line.
Awesome.
Yeah. Which reminds me of something that would be in like Sunset Boulevard. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And then, his whole thing is he thinks this guy is the guy who's sending him threatening messages, who's going to endear himself to him and produce a screenplay if he has to get him off his back. Mm-hmm. And it's just so transparent. And I guess originally they were going to have the Kahane character speak fluent Japanese and sing a song at the piano bar, in Japanese to him. And they were like, yeah, it wasn't time for that, which is otherwise you're going to have another Nashville in your hands. I mean, Jesus Christ. That'd be cool, but
that would in a way ruin the character because he's supposed to be this guy that he's not good at anything. He can't take yes for an answer. Yeah, right. Because he's not even writing the postcards. So he's basically been handed the opportunity to to have his script get written or whatever, and he can't take yes for, or at least have his script looked at, right? To have a deal. First look deal,
and he's still being kind of a dick about it. Where it's no, take the win, man. What are you, a Republican? You're a sore winner.
Still gotta complain, right?
He was almost history's first weeaboo, but not quite.
Well done.
Yeah, I think instead that award went to my dad.
I guess if we, unless anyone else has to say there, fast forwarding to when he.
I have something.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I wanted to point out, and I keep it keeps jumping into my mind and then leaving my mind. The use of blue when it's the Ice Queen's lair or whatever. June Goodman's daughter is her studio.
She's
the use
always
of that
in white,
really,
even at the funeral. Yep.
Yeah, and the use of that really amazing icy blue that I really like throughout that, and then the use of just blatant red. when it's the whole scene where he murders Kahane and the diametrically opposed scenes that are really back to back.
Yeah, almost like Argento style, right? By the way, that was my point. I was gonna mention the extreme red for the murder, and which I guess the fella, I can't remember his name right now. The fellow who shot it was like, yeah, that's what I was feeling right then. I was like, oh, okay, well.
And a little shout out to Greta Scacchi for being just transcendent in this role. Like she's so beautiful, and just the way she inhabits this role is extremely impressive. That if I gain nothing else from this viewing, it's coming away with a new appreciation for her performance.
Yeah, I have a thing for that when we get a little bit further down. There's like a scene that I wanted to talk about her role and actually like conceiving.
She has a very unique presence in this, and I guess actually was pregnant, like really pregnant as well. Dang. Like even like earlier on, like she just wasn't showing yet, but like that which is a thing I did not know. But
Oh, so they did the reverse what Tim Burton did with Helena Bonham Carter and Sweeney Todd. They actually kept filming her out of order, so it's like, whoa, she has big tits. Oh, they got smaller. Why did that happen? They did because she was pregnant.
We call that the Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah.
As Griffin
Now remember
Mill,
how they did it in the nanny?
Actually,
try to hide his pregnancy.
As Griffin Mill gets more full of himself, the tits actually get bigger.
Sure. They get quite milky. I'm so sorry.
The next day, Mill receives another postcard, which is devastating, right? Like you're like, all right, well, at least
I killed this dude. Wasn't even the right guy. Whoops, my bad.
Okay,
everybody in this movie is so fucking incompetent that it's like it makes it funnier. Because if it's like, these are people that are really good at their job.
Oh my god.
It's like some people are failing laterally, like Kahane, where he's like,
But it hits very differently than like the Coen brothers type of everybody being incompetent. Like, you know what I mean? There's a specific sort of like, and then everyone kind of moves on as opposed to like, someone being with the wood chipper. But anyway, that's either here or the wood chipper, everybody. Thank you. Let's give him a round of applause.
Mill attends Kane's funeral and gets along with June. She knows none of the other mourners. Studio chief of security, Walter Stuckel. Great name.
Which is it's at Hollywood Forever, and the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, which I actually was at on Friday for my birthday.
Yeah,
for the first time ever, I enjoyed it. It was
free.
They
fun, interesting fact, Conan. Liza Minnelli and Lorna Luft and Joey Luft, they recently moved Judy Garland's grave from New York because there wasn't enough room to have plots for them, so they moved. They had her, moved there, because
that was the only one that was like, it was packed. Like I was like, all right, I'm gonna bail on this one. But like I saw Johnny Ramone, Dee Dee Ramone, Chris Cornell was there, John Huston, Vampira, Peter Lorre. There's like,
where's her biopic?
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, basically they were standing like where Dee Dee Ramone's grave is. There you go.
But Detective
was
Avery,
worried about that. I don't know why you would be, but anyway.
Detectives Avery, played by Whoopi Goldberg, and DeLongpre, played by Lyle Lovett, suspect Mill is guilty of murder. They question him, and DeLongpre keeps an eye on him. Mill receives a postcard from the writer suggesting they meet at a club. When Mill is waiting, he's cornered by two screenwriters who pitch Habeas Corpus, a serious legal drama featuring no major stars and with a depressing ending.
Can we put a pause on that right there? Because I want to talk about Habeas Corpus on its own and the pitch, which is amazing. But we got to bring up, Ian, back me up here. Lyle Lovett, it's impossible to overstate how big of a deal that guy was for whatever reason around this time. Like, it was like, oh, Lyle Lovett. And then was like, why do I know who Lyle Lovett is? Like, why do I know? But like, right? I mean, it was sort of like, now you look at it like, that's a goofy looking dude. That is a weird looking man.
So I was watching this, and then my mom like kind of came into the room and looked at the screen and went, "Oh, Lyle Lovett."
Yeah.
Did he meet Julia Roberts on set? Do we know?
Oh, I would love to know that. Because
I'm looking it up now.
Probably has to be because it was 93 to 95.
They got married in 93, right? Yeah.
Because
that was definitely him.
Yeah.
Him.
Yes,
you married him.
They met after. Yeah.
I'm the player. Amazing.
Yeah, they did. That's just crazy that they were together.
Well, and he had his own career and was like known amongst like the country music world, right? Yeah, but like
legitimately, yeah.
I remember him in the
Lovett married actress Julia Roberts after meeting her on the set of The Player. Following a 3-week romance, they eloped and married in June '93 in Marion, Indiana.
Insane. insane.
Yeah, I remember him in that one movie, Bastard Out of Carolina.
Mm.
I was like, this guy looks familiar because I saw him in other stuff. I'm like, wait a minute.
Well, he was in Shortcuts too. He was in some other Altman stuff, but like he's a good that guy. Like that guy was born to either play country music or be a character actor, and he did both. So
yes.
Yeah,
for him,
face made for radio.
He's definitely been in like Coen Brothers stuff too. I think I can't remember.
He looks like a mule with a Beavis haircut. You know what I mean? Like peace and love in my heart. But
Him and Julia Roberts. That's like
punching out above your weight class. Anyway, sorry. Peace and love. I just wanted to shout out that like Lyle Lovett was a big deal for a while, like big. I think everyone is equally flabbergasted of that pairing, and so that was like
he was in the Dewey. He was in Walk Hard as himself.
Right. He was in that. I forgot about that. So please can. So
it's him and Jewel. He's singing with Jewel. I'm surprised he didn't.
That's right.
I'm surprised he didn't get married to Jewel after.
So the pitch meeting is Richard E. Grant and Dean Stockwell. And they're like apparently based off of real life dudes that were always like pitching stuff together that Tim Robbins refuses to narc out, but like they're based on those characters. And he's doing this while he's supposed to meet his stalker at the restaurant, and he's supposed to come alone, and he's like, oh no, I don't want to hear a pitch right now. I'm trying to meet someone, blah blah blah. And so he gets pitched habeas corpus. Amazing. That has to be. So for me, the heart of the movie is from the pitch of habeas corpus to the finished product, and like the journeys in between of the gradual degradation of the human soul as all artistic worth is flushed down the toilet. That's what makes this movie amazing to me. And you wouldn't get that if you didn't have these just like really just super present, like, we're going to do the 25-word pitch. Oh, but yeah, there's no stars, and it's if I'm thinking about it, it's not even really an American movie. It's like, it's got all of the things.
Which he never explains, right? We never get the explanation about what that means. And when they take it outside at the pool patio thing, and you get the like, Richard E. Grant's giving the pitch, and Dean Stockwell's going, yeah, but really, no, we can sell out on this.
Yeah. He's giving all of the sides.
It's a beautiful good cop, bad cop. Yeah.
And it's the opposite of every other pitch, because every other pitch we see the entire time, star, and then it's like this. It's like this. This is not.
It's Julia Roberts. It's Bruce Willis. Yeah.
They're pitching this as, and then they still low key, like they still have Dean Stockwell pitching it as Julia Roberts, but it's like they're pitching it as the opposite of every. Then that's why Griffin Mill can't step away from it. And he also
uses it as a poison pill. Too. He's going to use it as a poison pill to like sink his enemy, right? Which is great because it's like, oh, maybe he does have like some heart or worth to him. It's like, well, kind of, but he's also kind of hoping it'll fail and that the feces will get on the other guy, and that's, again, just another layer of skullduggery and tomfoolery that happens with this. I love it.
It's also, I mean, I like that they reference it, but it's L.A. in the immediate wake of the Rodney King, beating. Like,
so they make a special point of that.
We all just get along.
What's that, Ian?
Doesn't he say? Don't they reference it? What was that guy? King? Yeah.
Because he says, "Oh no, that's the LA police. They're the ones that'll beat you, throw you in jail for something you didn't do. Like, we don't do that. We don't arrest the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Not Pasadena. Apparently not the right guy either, though.
No.
So Bill Stalker never shows up for the meeting. Leaving the club, Mill receives a fax in his Range Rover. Crazy that was the thing you could just receive. Like, so many fax machines in this movie.
There is, the fax machine in the Range Rover. By the way, he originally was supposed to be in the fancy car that Peter Gallagher was driving, but apparently Tim Robbins is so tall.
Yeah,
like it looked like, and the quote is, it looked like a G.I. Joe and a Hot Wheels.
Oh my God!
So they decided to put him in a Range Rover, which was very forward because now, like that became kind of the go-to like exec thing, like well after this. But at the time, it was like really hadn't been done, so they were ahead of the scene on that as well, which I love.
Well, we talked about the Big Lebowski, where they were supposed to be in a much smaller car, and then John Goodman just couldn't fit in it.
Right, exactly. Which is, I guess the moral of the story is if your actor can't fit in a vehicle, get a different vehicle, and it'll be better.
It's happened twice. Guy's able to look under his raincoat, where he discovers a live rattlesnake, whereby he stops the car and flees, kills the rattlesnake. I mean, that scene is crazy.
It is, and it's a better scene than what it was in the book / script, which is he was going to shoot through the back windshield to the front windshield. There was going to be a gunshot, and then they have to explain what happens to the glass afterwards. But it's so much weirder when it's like, look under your coat. It's like, look under my coat. What are you doing? And then he's doing it while driving. Not a good idea. And then you see, it's a freaking snake, which again has connotations for U.S. at least that like, oh my God, crazy poison snake, like going all the way back. And it's such I feel like that's such a noir thing too.
And it's not the only rattlesnake in this movie. They managed to get a shot as he's driving away of another rattlesnake that's going as he's driving into the west.
It's so much better as the snake than it would be with gun. And really, that was only because Altman's like, I don't like using guns.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why. He didn't want to use guns. Respect.
The brush with death makes Griffin Mill realize he has feelings for June, somebody he meant like 20s. Having persuaded Bonnie to leave for New York on studio business, Mill takes June to Hollywood's awards banquet, and their relationship blossoms. Apprehensive that Larry Levy continues encroaching on his job, Mill phones Levy and invites the two writers to pitch habeas corpus. So that gala... I have a clip of Altman talking about the setting up the gala, and apparently the bit that so the entire bit with Cher being the only one wearing red, and then they're like, well, Cher, she's wearing red, like she's not listening to the instructions, is actually something Altman gave her as instructions and didn't tell
that rocks
anybody else that was there that he was going to do that. So it's like they all showed up in black. He's like, bring your own stuff, dress like it's a gala, black and white. And then he said to Cher, who does not wear red, apparently. Cher has never worn red. That's like a thing. And he didn't know that was a thing. He didn't do that on purpose.
See, a little known fact, they wanted to use throwing stars. You're right, Stevie.
Does Cher even have this? What is because red looks bad on her? There's no such thing as looking.
No, it's just because it looked audacious. Because it's like everyone else was following the edict of like black and white, and then I think Kristina saying because
apparently there's a thing that Cher would never wear. Like Cher doesn't wear red. I don't know what the thing like, but
I've never seen her in red, so that's probably a thing.
Lady in Red.
I love that song. Thank you, Deadpool Wolverine,
It was
for
a series
bringing
of
that song back in the
accidents.
zeitgeist.
Like all of the good things in any film are a series of accidents. I decided to have the party a black and white party for I don't know what reason, just for I thought visually it would be interesting. And when I started inviting people, when I called Cher, I was trying to think of something that would make her think that she was a little more special than everybody else. And it just occurred to me at the time, and I said, but I want you to wear red, but I don't want anybody to know about it. But it's almost like you did it on purpose to stand out in that crowd. So she did it. But what I didn't know is that Cher never wears red. Most people in Hollywood have taken the attitude that this is all some big thing about them and all this, and it's a big satire on them. It isn't. It's using Hollywood as a metaphor.
Can we talk about something other than Hollywood for a change?
Yeah. Yes.
We're educated people.
Sure.
People are always talking about the Orson Welles tracking shot in what was it, Touch of Evil, and so I said, well,
That's what happened, all right.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
If I can turn back time.
I really like that. I mean,
I wouldn't wear red.
But I like that they do the thing where it's like, can we talk about something besides Hollywood for a change? And everyone just stops. But at the same time, none of them watch movies. Like they're engaging with this culture. They're engaging with
with the business of it. But yeah, they don't actually care.
Sloth these days too. All these pop culture, dudes, and I'm like, you don't even watch these movies. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Also, Cher still looks like Cher. Can't say the same thing about Madonna.
Yeah.
True.
This is true. But I love that the gala, that whole thing was staged. Like it was staged, but they had to film it like it was a real event because it was they basically conducted like a fake gala. They said like, hey, we're going to be doing this. You know, if you want to
Like
show up and
Cher.
like see, you want to show up and see a bunch of stars, do a fake red carpet. You know, it's $20 or whatever, and that like helped.
He
Like,
would be
pay for the
like,
rental
there's something going on. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, and that's what they did.
That's
So the crowd there was all like, they just heard there was going to be some stars on a red carpet. They didn't even know what it was for, and what it was for was this movie. Like, what's even a real event? But it works because it looks real.
It's like when Michael Jackson tried filming Thriller. Everyone's like, Michael Jackson's downtown. We're gonna show up. It's like
Let's go.
barricade.
Yeah.
I was thinking about and it is crazy that who's in the scene, but Zoolander has a thing where they staged the fashion walks, right? Like they had a thing where, and then they do fake interviews, and they're like red carpet interviews, and one of them is fucking Donald Trump, pre-Trump. But like it reminded me of the staging of those where they're like, you know, they're trying.
It
to
also
get them.
reminded me in Knocked Up where Katherine Heigl's character is very, very pregnant. She's interviewing all these celebrities who are like, oh my god, you're pregnant. You're gonna give birth now. And then Andy fucking Dick literally like fucking like gropes her vagina on camera, and I'm like, considering what happened recently.
I was gonna say
it's like,
that would be Chekhov's grope.
also, fucking he's the reason why Phil Hartman's dead. So I was hoping.
I saw the.
I did myself on that one. Wow, that was bad.
I'm just saying.
I saw the picture of OD like on the street. OD'd Andy Dick today, where he has a yerba mate.
I was like, this is for Phil Hartman. Oh, he
no,
lived.
but I was just like, this is not great for us yerba lovers. That this is a bad advertisement for yerba mate.
He's gonna lose that endorsement. I feel like. But anyway, immediately dodging away from literally any of that. Yeah, the red carpet event. You know, he's taking the woman that is not his girlfriend and assistant too, and it's very clear. You know, there's a connection there. But I also love that she's like not into movies as an art form, but for a different reason that, you know, he says he is, but he isn't, because it's always think about the business aspect. He's not into movies either, really.
Yeah, but they're constantly talking about Hollywood, and that's the only thing they can talk about. But none of them have seen any movies, right? Like,
exactly. Have you ever seen?
It also has
movie?
the line in this movie that reminds me of Kristina, where she says, "You brought her in front of 10,000 of my best friends."
Oh, well, there you go. Which is like half of Hollywood. Yeah.
It's Kristina talking about her Facebook friends list.
Yeah. Or it's like Joan Crawford referring to her fans. He's like, I don't call them fans, I call them friends.
Mill convinces Levy that the scenario is good and the movie will be an Oscar contender. Early use of that Oscar bait trope. That's now it's like when something's like in a movie they're like, this is Oscar bait. It's like, all right. Like I feel like there's a bookend where it's like this movie and Tropic Thunder, and it's like after that it kind of became hack to like mention Oscar contenders as much as they do.
Yeah. And we know exactly what is considered Oscar bait: biopics.
Right, because you never go full retard.
Or like anything that's like, you know, oh god, what's another like?
By the way, one of my favorite Tom Cruise roles, Tropic Thunder. By the way.
Oh god, that's his best role. He really went ham at the VMA at the movie.
It's the only time I've ever watched Tom Cruise and not thought, oh, that's Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, exactly.
This was like his first like comeback role post like jumping on the couch and shitting on Brooke Shields for having postpartum depression. Like he needed something like.
Well, it showed he had a sense of humor too, which is rare
also
for that guy,
too. I mean, he could also help. Him and Christopher Nolan and a few others could possibly save Hollywood. I don't blame. Like I can't. I mean, Scientology aside, I can't hate Tom Cruise because he actually likes the cinema experience. Okay,
look, other than the murder, he's a pretty nice guy. Okay,
exactly. He's a part of a cult, it's fine, but you know.
Once they deploy Nicole Kidman, it's over. Like the theater experience is back. She's going to make it happen.
Yeah, so she came back from the hell dimension just to save it.
Exactly.
Yeah, they let her out. Nicole, you're fine.
We need you.
They unleashed the seventh seal, and she was released from the AMC finally. We love Nicole Kidman here, by the way. Anyway,
the film through production have it flop. Will step into the last moment, suggesting some changes to salvage the film's box office, letting him reclaim his position at the studio. Mill asks June to go away with him to Acapulco, and Bonnie confronts him about his relationship with June. And then you get that scene where it's Michael Tolkien and his brother. Which, yeah, at first I was like, am I supposed to know who these people are? These two brothers?
Well, and they're trying to get what they want done as well. And they're dealing with the fact that this executive is like two-timing his assistant and girlfriend and this. And it's like, isn't that perfectly indicative of just the people that are in the position of power to make things happen aren't even fully focused on the event that's happening at any given moment in time, right? And I love that that's indicative not just of this film and this plot, but just in general. Not that it's that specific thing all the time, but yeah.
At the airport, Griffin discovers a long parade with police officers patrolling the terminal. He pretends to have left his passport at home and suggests to change the plans to June, and the pair head for an isolated desert resort and spa. During their weekend, Griffin and June consummate their relationship. So this is what I wanted to talk about, and it makes a lot of sense after
the mud scene. We know.
Yeah. Well, but it makes a lot of sense after saying that she was pregnant because she did not want like a conventional, Greta Sachi did not want like a conventional sex scene, and Altman was pushing for it. And that's why you get the
in Harvey Weinstein with the Freedom movie with Salma Hayek.
What happened is they shot it from the top down, and then everyone went, "Wow, that's an interesting sex scene."
Because it wasn't really being done.
Incredibly sexual, but like incredibly visually engaging, but you never actually get any sex, and you don't see the writhing bodies, you just see it from the top down. And Altman was like, "Oh yeah, I shot that." And then,
take credit for it, yeah.
Greta Sachi came out was like, no, I just wasn't going to be in a sex scene at this point, and I thought of that. So there was like, she was tired of him getting all the credit for that.
Sure. But also, I mean, first of all, let's be clear. Robert Altman should not be the same sense as Harvey Weinstein. But like he did mention at the outset that there would be nudity. But what he wanted one of the scenes, which was with Bonnie, be more functional. That they're hanging out in the spa, kind of. She's reading the script, and it's just sort of like they happen to be naked, And the other one specifically was for that scene, and I think it is way better that it's not as revealing. Personally, we also get a we can see Tim Robbins' muddy nutsack. So there you go. Prosthetic cock.
If he's like, all right, if I can't shoot the sex scene, I'm at least gonna get some balls in there.
That's what he said in the commentary. He says that. It's like, well, we had some breasts earlier. It's only fair to have some balls and a penis.
He said, I believe in equality.
And Altman is a trailblazer.
Yeah,
he's a trailblazer.
Considering frontal, like even male nudity today is still considered taboo. And I'm like, just show the penis. It's fine.
Yeah, he's a trailblazer in the use of the stunt cock.
The stunt cock, yeah.
I wonder. I remember when I watched Boogie Nights, and I was like, is this real? And then Mark Wahlberg's he still owns his fake cock that he shows at the end of Boogie Nights. It's so like deteriorated. I should ask him if I bump into him downtown sometime.
That's what you're gonna ask him. Hey, about the stunt cock.
Yeah,
I would have asked him.
Or asked to clean his house.
I would have asked him. So what would be different about 9/11?
If you don't know, I live in Aiken, South Carolina.
It would have gone on differently if I had been there.
Mark Wahlberg has a place here, and he frequents here, and so does Gerard Butler apparently now too. So, but I see Mark Wahlberg from time.
Ask him what's up with the stunt cock too. Ask them all. You're bound to get a response eventually.
ask him if he'll pray with you.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say, hey, Mark Wahlberg, don't go down there. There's Vietnamese people down there.
Oh.
All right. So the place that they filmed that is a place near Palm Desert, and Al Capone frequented that place. And it's something where, again, the location scout found it because originally supposed to be in Mexico. And they were like, oh no, there's this great place that like no one's ever shot a movie at, and it's this like really awesome looking luxury resort like from like 1940s.
But it looks like where executives would get away.
Sure, absolutely.
Aruba, Jamaica, ooh.
Now I can't stop thinking about Robert Altman saying, "Sir, I believe in equality and music."
I watched that Christopher Nolan thing, and I was like, "Yeah."
So
when Christopher Nolan's got you. Okay,
a thing I like about the mud, like when they're both in the mud, it almost kind of looks like graves or something too. So that's something that's interesting. And you get that great scene that I know Tim Robbins was so excited about it. He was going to put it in one of his own movies where he's in a full facial mask and like goes to get to the handset telephone to be talking on the. He's just like, I just think it's such a cool visual, and Robert got to it before I could put it in my own movie. So I wish I could have done it first.
I mean, that's also what he did to in Nashville, where he just he stole all of the songs that they were.
But I think that's great, and we get the setup for that where also they're just kind of tooling around. And it's like, well, what do you look for in movies? And he basically lists everything in movies, which goes back to what we were saying earlier about everyone doing their pitch. Like, oh yeah, action, sure. Oh yeah, it's very funny too. Oh, and of course there's romance, yeah. And like everyone's kind of like making every pitch all things to all people. Yeah. And like when you say what makes a good movie, he contradicts himself like 4 times in like 3 sentences.
Yeah. Well, because he's putting everything in there.
Yeah,
but it's like,
basically talking about anything.
There's a level of empathy to like 50,000 scripts is like, you got to read. Like, I mean, it's not him personally, like it's Bonnie and like, whoever works under her that personally reads it, but it's like a certain amount of them get to him. But
I didn't like reading submissions to Caterwall. I can't imagine reading a whole script.
But the Tim Robbins thing with he was going to use it in one of his movies. Like it just reminds me of the Keith Carradine thing where Robert Altman was listening to Keith Carradine songs that he like the I'm Easy that he had written. I was trying to remember the exact song he said, but he was listening to I'm Easy, and then which is a song that Keith Carradine was like, I had written that about like my ex-girlfriend, and like it was really personal to me. And Robert Altman was just like, no, you're writing about being a man whore, and this isn't our movie now. And if you say no, I'll fire you.
But you know what? It worked out pretty good for both of them, didn't it?
So good. So good. It's such a good part of that movie. But it's like he's still pissed about it because he's like, he took that personal thing and made it into something that I'm not personally. I would never be a man whore.
Right. Well, whatever. Cry yourself to sleep on your big bed full of $100 bills, okay?
Yeah. During their weekend, Griffin and June consummate their receives a call from his attorney who informs him the studio head
with the face mask on is that's the scene I was talking about,
and he has such a good face for it, Tim Robbins. Like he has he has a perfect towel on his head and like a face mask face.
And for devotees of the show that know that we like Bob Roberts here and done an episode on it, apparently Altman seeing Bob Roberts is what clinched it for wanting Tim Robbins specifically, which is like, yeah, I get it. It makes sense. In a way, Bob Roberts is very Altman-ish. And it's
he's been on Katie Halper. Like there's got to be a way that we can somehow connect to Tim Robbins and be like, Tim Robbins, come on the show. Like he knows people I know. Like there has to be a way.
Also his son with Susan Sarandon he's so fucking funny because he's like his whole thing is like, a day in the life of a Nepo baby. I, do this and I do that. and Susan Sarandon's like in the videos and she's like, just get away from me. Just got, like it's just he's so funny. I love him. He really should be more famous, but he's just a result to just doing like TikToks and Instagram reels.
I just love, and this is not going to work for the audio listeners, but for video listeners, it looks like Tim Robbins from The Players sitting on the couch and looks like he's holding a ball of Kristina and a ball of Ian under each arm, which I appreciate.
Well, the thing about both
negative zone balls
and Tim Robbins is they've been kind of banned from Hollywood for the same reason. They're because of their radical political.
Political.
Not actually, political does not actually scare them, and they have been very outspoken. So
they do definitely do radical political.
Yeah, Jack Henry Robbins is their son's name.
All right.
An elderly witness has come forward who claims to have seen the murder and can identify the assailant. Mill gains a reprieve when the witness fails to identify him in the lineup. It's funny that same exact.
And they identify him. I love it. I love that so much. And like, that guy looks like he kills people. All right.
That same kind of concept is used around the same time in My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I love that it's because the whole thing is you see it's like. And they do that in police lineups. They'll bring a cop in and put him in, when they need to pad it out, right? It's the fact that IDs love it. Who does look like a creep, to be clear. Great. No notes.
I'm trying to see if I screen grabbed it. I guess maybe I didn't.
I mean, homie can't help the way he looks, but he's a goofy looking dude.
I'm trying to see if I screen grabbed it. Maybe I didn't. I thought I did. There's this shot that I really, really like. As Tim Robbins, as Griffin Mill gets away with it. And walks out of the building, you see Lyle Lovett and Whoopi Goldberg, and then the blonde lady that works in their office. There's a window shot where you see the three of them watching down from on high, and it's such a good, interesting shot.
While you look for that, I want to mention the Whoopi Goldberg character. I also love that, she just was like, "Hey, I want to be in this." That is a scene. But
when Whoopi Goldberg was likable, right?
She went to Robert Altman like, I want to be in this movie. She's like, Whoopi, I don't have anything for you. And then he was like, actually, wait, do you want to play the cop? And she's like, yes, I do. And she does this like Columbo thing, right? Where from the very beginning, like Griffin Mill like walks over to like the big office and she's like, no, over here. And then there's something in the chair. There's like a gym bag or something along those lines. And then there's a whole like, the other cops like looking for the tampons. And it's like, oh no, that's the wrong size. Those are yours. Like there's all these like full on Columbo style deflections like meant to kind of off put you. Then there's the fly that's going around. And then Lyle Lovett hits it with the freaking fly swatter, and Tim Robbins like jumps like 3 feet in the air. You know, like the whole thing is just meant to be completely unsettling. It works so well, and she's funny enough. Apparently, there was discussion about doing a spin-off of that character having her own show because it killed so hard. Yeah.
I could see it being like a
which I would totally would have.
Yeah,
early '90s Whoopi Goldberg, sure, man. Yeah, why not?
She was an late 80s, early 90s Whoopi Goldberg, unstoppable lover. The Whoopi Goldberg that we have now, I fucking hate her.
Oh yeah, well that's a different story entirely. But like, remember, this is like a year before Sister Act, if I remember correctly, or
yeah,
a year
yeah,
of, so.
Yeah.
This is after Ghost.
She just really wanted to work with Robert Altman, and like I loved it. Like she kept at it, and like it was like, we're gonna give you one of the coolest.
Well, it's not just her. So Patrick Swayze wanted to be in this movie.
That's right.
And he came to Robert Altman and said, I will do anything to be in this movie. Like anything you want me to do, I will do it. And so they have scenes with Patrick Swayze, but they just didn't make the final cut in the end. They also have a scene, Jeff Daniels, same thing. Jeff Daniels, they have a scene where during that tracking shot, they're walking past a part of the thing, and you just see Jeff Daniels hit a golf ball in the middle of the studio.
It's like, oh, there's another cameo.
But but it's all like the Leo DiCaprio meme, right? Where you're just like pointing at the screen. It's Burt Reynolds. Oh, you know, it's Marty Matlin. You know, like we have like this everywhere you go. There's like someone in the background doing something. You know,
ooh, but it's so different. It's so different, like, you know, with someone like Patrick Swayze, who also, like, I mean, you know, probably not as big, I guess, at the end as like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No, he was a bankable name.
He was.
Yeah, this was also before he did To Wong Fu, Point Break, you know.
Well, hold on. I think Ian had a point. Can we pause that and just hear what Ian say? Go ahead.
Just something I meant to mention earlier when we were talking about the tracking shot. They shot that 15 times, and they ended up using the 10th take. That's just something.
Christopher Nolan would have hated directing this film.
Is he famously like a one-take guy?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I had no idea.
He's not a
I would not have guessed that.
I would have guessed he was. Well, he's trying to be Kubrick so hard. You would think he'd be a 40 take guy.
Exactly.
Yeah, he would be like a 300.
Oppenheimer. It's like you gotta be on your A game. That's why I would have loved to work on a Christopher Nolan film so badly. Yeah. And everyone's like, why would you?
Well, I mean, he can. Maybe it'll happen one day. But I would have.
Was that what was stopping you from doing that? Okay, you know what? Never mind. Moving on.
I know, but I would have thought like he reminds me of the kind of guy that would like tell a person like, oh, I did 312 takes or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, Rupert. You know, I've said like it's but like,
and I beat up my actress. Like, okay,
do that, Shelley Duvall. I can't believe people still believe that crap, even though she said working with Stanley was fine. It was a lot.
My joke was that he's just being more extreme than Kubrick on everything.
Like, look, we are so close to being through the plot summary. We're so close. It's like the end is in sight. We're so close. All right.
Okay. 1 year later, studio power players are watching the end of Habeas Corpus with a new tacked on upbeat Hollywood ending.
Amazing.
No Hollywood endings. Bill's plan to save the movie has worked, and he is head of the studio. Jude is now Griffin's wife and pregnant with his child. Bonnie objects to the changes and is fired. A decision Griffin does not overrule. He rebuffs Bonnie when she appeals to her termination to him. Miller receives
horrified, by the way, because she's right to be mortified. Because like, what? This is not like any like this is the opposite of what we discuss. You know, like and everyone's like, get out of here. You know,
which everyone said was like, everyone's like, this is a brilliant idea. This is audacious. Everything about this, we need to do this. This is the only way this movie is gonna work. And then it's like everything is the opposite. I love what he said. The line is so.
And even Richard E. Grant and Dean Stock were like, yeah, well, you know.
Well, the Richard E. Grant line is amazing.
What does he say?
Because he's saying there, he's like, I can't remember what town he says, but he's like, well, people like Monterey Park.
Oh, they did a test screening. Yeah, that's right.
And he's like, they didn't think so. That's reality. And it's like,
yeah, amazing.
Test screening in Canoga Park.
Canoga Park. Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah, a town so boring I couldn't even remember which town it was. Mill receives a pitch over the phone from a man who reveals himself as the postcard writer. The man pitches the idea about a studio executive who kills a writer and gets away with murder. Mill recognizes the pitch as blackmail and gives the writer a deal. The writer's title for the film, The Player. Which
is a callback like to MASH, right? Where like they do it at the end of MASH too. It's awesome. I love it. Like referential.
It's a perfect closed loop. Yeah, and then the every single poster has the noose around it, and the noose obviously is like kill Griffin Mill, but the noose can also be a closed loop that you're doing. So it's like a perfect metaphor, I guess.
Roberts. No, it's great, and just harkening back just to the test audience thing. I mean, that's how like they've recut huge multi-billion-dollar movies because like, it didn't play well in
Peoria.
Peoria, yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
So, I mean, I think that's notable. I think that's interesting, and I think that's pressing. Again, look at the time period that this came out, right? And that was something that wasn't common knowledge. Like the average moviegoer didn't be like, "Oh, well, the test audience must not have liked it." No, nobody was thinking about that. That was like you had to be like get back in the industry.
Now some test audiences just don't know what the fuck they're talking about. I mean, there are certain things where it's like, I don't want Dan Stevens to be shirtless in a Disney movie. Yes, yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Again, it's something that's so commented on now
that sounds very specific. But yes, I agree with you.
But it's something that's now is so mentioned that it's
more on that later.
To have like to have a test screening and to have like changed it in the test screening, right? Like that's almost like a hack thing to mention because it's
like they didn't want the
because everybody knows it, right?
Yeah, like
and anything about the industry is going to have a scene where they talk about that. But the thing to understand is that was just not something that was said aloud. It was something that was done, but it wasn't said aloud. And it was one of the things that made people angry at Altman, even though awards-wise, he was nominated for Best Director for this, as was the editor, and I think he got a writing nom as well. None of which won, but it was like one of those things that like, look at how they treated May December. Like if it gets a little bit too close to the bone. No, you ain't getting no awards.
Yeah,
like, we'll nominate you because you've done other stuff, and like we're gonna, we want to celebrate you and all that, but you ain't winning. There's no way.
Well, actually, something rather relevant about Robert Altman as a director is I found out that Altman is one of the 4 filmmakers whose films have won the Golden Bear at Berlin, the Golden Lion in Venice, and the Palme d'Or at Cannes. Other 3 being one of them that Jafar Bahani, who's also directed one of your favorite films, I think, Conan. It's the No Other Choice. I think.
Oh yeah.
Or no Accident. I think it was that. It wasn't.
No Other Choice is the Park Chan-wook movie that just came out, which
yeah.
I do love. That's great. It's everything.
Oh, it was just an accident. That's the other film that came.
Yeah,
that's
the Jafar. I haven't seen that one yet. I'm excited to see it, but I haven't seen that one yet.
It's a French film, which I'm like, but you're Iranian.
So what they did, so he got, since I invoked award, I'll just mention real quick. He got nominated for Best Director for MASH, Nashville, The Player, Shortcuts, and Gosford Park. Did not win any of them, but in 2005 they gave him an honorary award. They gave him. We're just gonna give it to you because we know you're old as hell.
It's like Angela Bassett should have won for What's Love Got to Do with
the Susan Lucci syndrome.
Yeah, that was a big deal. I remember where I was when she finally won that daytime Emmy.
Well, Altman a little bit before this made the movie about Kristina, Streamers.
Yes.
There it is. Okay, very good. So all right, so the end of this, which ends a little bit differently than the book, is you see very clearly that they're together because she's pregnant. They're living in the house. He got away with it, right? He gets away with it. He's making the movie The Player so that like the guy doesn't blackmail him, but he got away with all of it. Like it's not only just a dark comedy, but nobody learns anything. The bad guys win. And it's bleak, but it's perfect. Like how else would it have ended, right? Like you get the happy ending in the cynical studio play to make a successful movie, but in this movie, I guess it is a happy ending for Griffin and her, but morally complicated for the rest of the world. Anyway, I love it. I think it's great. And when people are bummed out by it, I'm like, okay, we clearly don't have the same comedic sensibility.
Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like almost like Leonardo DiCaprio in doing the pointing thing in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where he's pointing at the screen because I'm like, I'm watching The Player right now. Like,
I'm watching that movie right now. Yeah, totally. Yeah, exactly. You can do a good Tim Robinson bit on that.
When it's a lacerating satire, right? Which this is like. It's the ending of it can be something that's a total bummer, and you don't leave it feeling like I got played really, because you're like all right, I get what this is trying to tell me, or I get what this is trying, or what statement it's trying to make. Like you don't get like if it's not a satire and if it's just like a bummer, you're like, man, like I just wasted 2 hours.
Well, that's like most Oscar bait movies, frankly. Where it's like. Don't get me wrong. I like a good sad
Oscar bait this season. I feel like there's really no Oscar bait.
I mean, I haven't seen Marty Supreme yet. Maybe that'll be it.
That's probably the only one, honestly.
That's the safety ping pong Chalamet movie.
Yeah,
right?
He's literally like, I want to win so bad.
It's this year's Chalabate. It's this year's Chalabate,
Chalabate.
Yeah.
Every time I see the poster, I get annoyed. I hate his look in it so much, and I understand it's like something that's very attractive to like younger men or women, whatever. But I'm like, I would want to kick that kid in the face if I saw him look like that. Sorry.
I really like the quote that he's like, I wore contacts in my eyes that made my eyesight bad, so I could wear glasses. And it's like you can't.
Have you tried acting, kid?
You can't just act like you need to put glasses on. That's the easiest thing to do in the world. I would.
This is classic after party material. We can.
I'm friends with his mother on Facebook, Ian. So it's like I got a message her, be like, yeah, your son.
Your son's wilding out.
Wait. Let's see what we think of Marty Supreme before you message her. Otherwise,
maybe it's great.
Yeah,
maybe it's great.
You
surprised me before.
Movie, that's what I'm gonna message her. Like, your son's got the awards this year, hon.
But what if it sucks? And then you're like, oh, I don't think your son's got the awards this year. And then she's like, Kristina.
I'm sorry, who are you?
She put Kristina's face on a dartboard.
Maybe known for the wrong reasons.
I kind of got the Timothy Chalamet hair right now, sort of.
All right.
I said that yesterday.
Ian, what do you think about the ending? What do you think about the ending of The movie The Player?
10 out of 10, no notes. How would you change it? How would you make it better? This can't be improved upon. This is perfect.
What if the girl he ends up with, Julia Roberts?
That would have been funny. Yeah, if he throws over Greta Scacchi for somebody else, yes, I'm in.
But a surprising turn of events, Lyle Lovett's the one who got that, which is okay. I guess we didn't see the post-credit sequence for that, but
she likes the way he stalks outside of the window.
I just liked his vibe. She's making cancel culture movies with Luca Guadagnino. Anyway, moving on. Cool. So, Letterboxd, of course, is a social media site for film lovers to talk out with and to each other about the movies they love, maybe the movies that they didn't love, maybe the movies that they just called out.
Vamp for a second. I didn't.
Just called out the specific cameos that exist one by one, and that's the review. Yeah, I saw the movie too. I know those people were in it. Thank you. And of course, it's a bottom-up democracy. Everyone gets to have their say, not just the Skulls and Earbits of the world. Everyone gets to chime and opine. And that is wonderful and is also best expressed succinctly when they are collected weekly by yours truly for presentation on screen for Forrest and the rest of the panel to react to, laugh at, with, and to. These are the Letterboxd one-liners for The Player. Let's go. The very definition of meta is characters in a film talking about a 6-minute tracking shot during an 8-minute tracking shot.
Yeah. And that's the first minute of the movie. Well, the first 2 minutes of the movie.
That's just true. I was like, oh, yeah, that's just true. Sometimes it's just truth. It's not funny. It's not funny, people.
The creators of like Rick and Morty saw this. They're like, what if a whole show was meta? What if we did that? What if we did a whole meta show?
I'll spend weeks pondering over the significance of Whoopi Goldberg talking about her jumbo tampons.
They don't always absorb everything. I'm just saying.
He's clearly uncomfortable hearing any of it being discussed. That's what I love about it.
Yeah, the fungal growth on the tampons, because she lost them, right? The fungus grew on it, and the fungus actually became the rest of the view. That's
Hey, everybody. There it is. That is
The View.
Truly harrowing, from the fake pitch of The Graduate 2 to the murder.
I love he's pitching. He's like, okay, well, Mrs. Robinson's had a stroke. Okay, maybe not a stroke.
Incredible.
It's gonna be funny.
He's still alive and married to Mel Brooks, so they could have done it. I'm just saying.
But it's gonna be a stroke. It's like, yeah, it's gonna be funny, but it's gonna be a stroke, or maybe not. Something happened to her.
Well, and I love that it's it's the fact that, again, like all these cameos, that it's who it is, right? It's the maker of that movie, and it's the fact that the fact that they got Mike Nichols to do it is great. Yeah, I'm sorry, Buck Henry, it's awesome. Yeah.
They also I think it's the first time they invoke Winona Ryder, which they do a few times in this, where it's like she has a daughter, the new graduate, played by Winona Ryder, and then later on you have the guy, the just really 80s looking fucking nepo baby kid that's going through all the things with girls or whatever, and he's like, what's Winona Ryder up to?
Doing Stranger Things.
Exactly, with children that are like a full foot and a half taller than her. Stranger Things, everybody, save for the after party.
She's so short and adorable. I love it. I love her.
Oh, she's always been cool, and her fake monocle,
problematic fake,
from Heathers. That we got the backstory of during this actual bit. That's how long I've been doing it.
Yes.
Altman, I'd like you to appear in my film. You may only speak in the background, or not at all, in my very distinctive style. Oh, and it's a scathing indictment of the studio system. Almost literally half of Hollywood. Sign me up.
They know what's up.
Yep.
There's the one of the most amazing cameos in this. They're talking about just background noise, right? Like background noise, and you hear Anjelica Huston said no to the project. She said she's already booked, and then you get the close up of Anjelica Huston's face, and it pans out from there, and she's pitching something totally different.
Totally different. Yeah. By the way, the reviewer here is Mike Scott, who from the Bottle and Bond podcast, who's coming on next week to talk Who Framed Roger Rabbit with this very show, which I'm very excited for.
I wonder what the 25 words or less pitch was for Roger Rabbit, but
oh my God. Yeah, I have no idea. That's a hard one. Someone receives a death threat on a Humphrey Bogart postcard in this. Yes, I would gladly own that said postcard with or without.
I like Your Hollywood is Dead, and it's all the stars sitting in the illustration of all the stars. I think I've seen that postcard before, and it's
so good.
Your Hollywood is Dead underlined.
So rich, Was the muddy ball sack shot really just an indispensable addition?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, so Gen Z or Gen Alpha this movie, they'll have a meltdown.
He says it in the thing. He's like, we need a little bit of sex. We need a little bit of, like he's listing all the things off, and it's like, the ball shot was your sex, baby. Like,
there you go. You got your nudity. Just wasn't what you thought it was going to be. I mean, that's great.
It's bigger jump scare than Cillian Murphy's dick in the beginning of his flaccid dick in the beginning of 28 Days Later. It was the first thing you see.
It's kind of you can't have erect penises on film apparently, and I'm like, that's stupid.
Top 5 muddy ballsack shots in cinema. Top five.
It's
Number 2 to Mystic River. I don't know why I thought of Mystic River, but I did.
Mystic River.
I don't know.
Love it. I'm here for it. It's good.
In my mind palace, there's a muddy ball sack shot in Mystic River.
When's the last time you saw it? Can you say there isn't? Yeah.
Nope.
Stripes. There's probably some muddy ball sack.
Oh yeah. There is. There's definitely that. Oh yeah. Which is Rubber Band Man is the song that's playing during the mud fight sequence.
Awesome.
Which is also a great tune. Love movies where Hollywood is evil at its core, but we love it anyway. Because what the fuck else are we gonna do?
Facts.
Sell it to Netflix or Donald Trump. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's like the evil is. It feels like it's doing the evil to itself in a lot of ways, right? Like, it's like everyone within this system is like miserable and terrible, and it's like, look, I'm just watching the movies. None of them do. None of the people in the system do. So I'm doing it.
Exactly, doing it all for everyone else.
I'm built different. I actually like watching movies.
Wouldn't have gone down like that if I was there. Ordering artisan bottled water everywhere now to assert
my
dominance.
God, yes.
It's a
it's
different
not even-
one every time too. That's why.
Does
I love
anyone
it.
have a tally? Does anyone have a tally
Yeah.
for all the different?
I think it gets up to
brands?
5, right? At least.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not even just that. It's that he orders it. They bring it to him in a wine glass. This is a wine glass, not a water glass. And sends
He
it
orders
back.
it and doesn't drink it ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's totally a power move. Those are Letterboxd one-liners for the player. Please follow the show at our Letterboxd HQ account at Movie Night Extra, where we have posts of all the episodes of things that we cover on this very show, as well as attendant short form content, clips, all those great things. You can follow your host Forrest there at Always Flacco. No stars, just talent. Reviewing movies on his Letterboxd account.
That should be
Great
a
follow.
letterbox. I should come up with that as a letterbox link.
No stars, just talent.
As a list where they're like, move like
Oh, that's a good idea.
you put Battle of Algiers on there. You can put
Yeah.
just a bunch
That's a better prompt than I've heard in a while. I, of course, am Conan Neutron at Conan Neutron Podcast, now more than ever. You can follow me on Letterboxd as well. New Criterion Challenge starts up next week for 2026, so diving into that. Follow me along for that. If you want to jump on to that as well, we have a channel in our Discord for that, so you can leap on and participate in that if you feel so inclined. No pressure, no pressure. I'm logging all kinds of stuff. I saw a Buñuel movie and that Roofman movie both last night. Boy, was that an exercise in contrast. But Channing Tatum, Roofman sounds like he'd be fighting Darkman to me, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Not that bad.
It was okay.
Doorman.
Channing Tatum.
Roofman be fighting Doorman. What are you talking about?
That's right.
Roofman fighting Floorman.
If you ever want to see Channing Tatum in a Toys R Us naked trying to scale a wall of bicycles, do I have the movie for you? No, I thought it was okay.
I saw the 5-minute
good.
commercial for that before I saw One Battle After Another.
Yeah, it veers into Hallmark movie territory, but it stays on the right side of things. Like I found it very charming. Yeah, I kept my expectations pretty low, and I thought it was charming. And I thought Channing Tatum. I was like, why haven't we seen more Channing Tatum these days? I don't know. Yeah. I also think Kirsten Dunst is aging like fine wine too. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, her and Kate Winslet are staying away from the fillers, and I appreciate that.
Deep appreciation. So yeah, follow me at Conan Neutron Letterboxd. I'm Kristina. Insert celeb cameo here. Kristina is logging all the things that she wants to log that are on this show and other things.
I gotta log in some Christmas movies because it's December and I still haven't watched a whole lot of Christmas stuff. And I watch every year.
They're pulling like a bunch of them off of HBO Max, and it's like it's December. Why? I guess it's after.
Yeah, I saw that.
The time to put them on, not take them off. But I don't know.
Yeah.
What do I know? I just play rock and roll.
Ernest Saves Christmas is the best Christmas movie ever. I will die on that hill.
I like National Lampoon's Christmas. Speaking of Chevy Chase, I always watch that.
Ian, I remember at one point you were on the popular Letterboxd platform, but I don't believe you are at this moment in time, right? Have you reactivated that? I'm
not anymore. No longer.
This is not social pressure, by the way. I didn't want to miss out on it. All right.
Nobody's missing out, believe me.
Let's hit it with the plugs, and then we'll get to final thoughts.
If you're watching us on YouTube, please like and subscribe, and then hit the bell to get notified whenever we're streaming. And we'd humbly request that you watch the video to the end, because it helps us with the algorithm and helps more film fans to discover the show. We're also monetized. If you want to get your chat questions definitely read on stream, you can always send us a super chat, which will help us keep the show going. Every cent helps. If you're watching on Twitch, you can gift us a free sub on Amazon Prime with your Prime membership, but getting subs on Twitch is always appreciated, and it helps to follow us on there as well. We also have an audio feed, which is available wherever you download podcasts, if you prefer to listen to podcasts rather than watch the stream. That's updated usually the same day we stream, but watching on YouTube and Twitch is the best way to get the show first, live as it happens. If you want to support us with a monthly donation and get access to all of our after parties forever, which go patron only after we do them, you can become a patron at patreon.com/movie night extra. Link is in the description for that. It really helps us keep the show going since we do have some expenses to make this happen. We also have a Discord community. Link is in the description for that. We sometimes watch movies we cover on there. We get into conversations about everything from film to TV shows to related podcasts. We even have a Discord channel for memes. It's really fun on there. You can find us on all the social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter, and Threads. You connect with us on all of those. Talk to us. We'd love to hear from you. Lastly, we recently made a TikTok at Movie Night Extra where we're putting up short form clips from the episodes. Okay, passing this to Conan so he can tell you about his music and this week's Protonic Reversal. Conan, who's on Protonic this week?
J.D. Pincus of Butthole Surfers fame, and also of Melvins. He played with Helios Creed. So many great bands. Great dude. Haven't had him on since, I'm going to say at least 5 years. Definitely since I've been doing video. Great guy. He's going on tour with Clutch. Clutch, everybody. Coming up in May and June. Very excited to have him back. I also have Dave Clifford of VSS and Pleasure Forever, Slaves, so on and so on. He's coming on Solid Brass Records. Excited to have him. Erica from Tropical Fuckstorm has a new record under her solo band name Palm Springs. So I'm going to have her on to talk sometime in the next 2 weeks. And then we also have the year-end wrap-up of my favorite records of the year that I always do. That's going to be coming up as well. So Protonic's back with a vengeance, baby. After a whole lot of touring.
Would you say Protonic now more than ever?
Protonic now more than ever. Yeah, absolutely. ProtonicReversal.com, patreon.com/ProtonicReversal, $1 a month advance access for that Patreon for get those episodes sooner and help support the show. Deep appreciate. No more Conan Neutron the Secret Friends days for the year. Last week was the last of them. We played with Mike Watt. That's the great way to freaking end the year, I think, for my birthday. It was a lovely time. If you want to hear about it, listen to the after party where I'll talk all about that as well as talk about the Golden Globes and upcoming
muddy Golden Globes.
The muddy. Wow.
Also,
and so much more. So we'll get into all that and lots of other things as well. But neutronfriends.bandcamp.com. Where the Neutron available, LP, CD, digital. Please, if you're for your consideration for your favorite records of the year, try out ours. It's pretty good.
Sonic Conda forever.
That's good. Caterwall 2026 initial announcements, I think, are going to be second week of January. We got some cool stuff lined up, so caterwall.org for that. We did a super limited, sold out in 45 minutes run of deep discount. Thank you, Stevie. Appreciate that. Discounted weekend passes. They were gone immediately. So that's encouraging because we didn't even say anybody who's playing yet. But it's going to be great. They're always great. Ian Chanot, he played last year.
Kid Rock.
Was it this year?
Kid Rock.
Kid Rock.
Technically this year is the most recent.
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah. It feels like last year.
How did you get
So much
these
has
guys?
happened.
Is Lyle Lovett is headlining there? Okay, that's really weird. I didn't know.
Just not the large band though, just them.
Large band. That was an emphasis band. I forgot about that.
Kid Rock.
Your whole catering budget would be gone.
And he's bringing along Jelly Roll to Protonic Reversal.
Dude, the Lyle Lovett's large band is his crowbar.
He's gonna be the guy.
Got him.
Got
Got him.
Oh man! I'm so
Imagine
glad Ian's on this show.
Imagine Dragon plays Caterwall.
All right, that's what I got. Kristina, what do you got coming up? Let's get out of this quickly.
Still streaming on Twitch. Still trying to find a good balance of talking due to this fucking asthma that I got now. Had my show with Forrest. It was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
I'm still in my Wicked for Good era. Plus, also I'm in my Diddy documentary era, and also Supergirl era is coming right up too.
Oh, is the previews? Did it already come out, or is it coming out soon?
The trailer's coming out tomorrow.
Okay.
I can't
Cool.
wait. Always on a Thursday.
I love that the Supergirl is a hot mess. That is appealing to me.
Yeah, everyone's like, what?
And I read the graphic novel it's based on. It's freaking awesome. So
yeah,
I had such a bad jump scare yesterday because we were talking about the Diddy documentary. We were talking about on our show, "I'll Be Missing You," like that song, and it's how it's just kind of somebody dancing on like Biggie and Tupac's grave, essentially.
That's my TikTok algorithm.
That's the one where he's just rapping over that police song, right? Is that right?
Yeah, and at the VMAs, he brought Sting on to sing "Every Breath You Take," and in hindsight, it sounds weird because it's a song about stalking.
About stalking. Also, Andy Summers wrote that song, and Sting still got all the royalties. Which
Wait, so that wasn't so. My jump scare is that someone on Facebook friends with that I went to high school with announced that somebody else I went to high school with had passed away, and they put it to rest. And the song that they chose for the slideshow when they announced it was "I'll Be Missing You."
What great timing to use that song. That song, because of us idiots on TikTok, that song's probably charting again.
Could have just used Weird Charlie Kirk. It was right there.
Charlie Kirk.
Day to see what was going on. He started singing that, and I was like, again, dude, stop. That's the only song Hassan Piker knows the lyrics to. I guarantee. And I'm like, stop it.
No, he
Every
also
time.
knows. He also knows. I will vote for Donald Trump.
All right. If you're really pining for more of this, there's an hour of it coming up. So hopefully we can land the plane on this show.
And Kristina and I do an extra hour of it now.
You do. So it's when do you do it? Thursdays.
We do it on
Wednesday.
Thursdays are your day.
That's right. I vetoed that.
we do it on Wednesdays at 6 Eastern, 5 Central, 4 Mountain Time, 3 Pacific Time. That's right. You're still at work if you're listening to it, and you're on the West Coast.
Put on headphones.
Time zones are made up. Those aren't even real time zones. It's real here.
So if you haven't already, like and subscribe for Absurdity Space. I wrote the theme song. Go over well. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. People love it. Yeah.
Bump into it and chat. I love it. Right, McGraw? Right?
I got it. I'll tune in next time. Try tuning in live.
You might blow your brains out if you're tuning because we're all over the place. You might have like.
I have no illusions about what the show is. I'm sure it's the deep entertainment of both y'all just going batshit all the time. Yeah. And anything else, Kristina?
Right now.
Other than the cat.
He ain't happy right now. He keeps climbing up the Christmas tree. Bad boy. Just we're gonna be doing a lot of Christmas stuff this month. I can't wait for my Christmas Eve stream because we're gonna watch Ernest Saves Christmas every year, and I'm gonna read Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
All right. So if you like
the
Christmas,
Grinch, the Grinch, he stole Christmas, and everyone knows it. They don't want to say it. When I'm elected, we're gonna be looking at Mr. Grinch. We're gonna be.
I need to get that Martha May robe so bad from the end.
All the who's and who will. They said, "Sir, you need to look into Mr. Grinch, and we're going to be looking into him. We're going to be looking into him very strongly."
I was waiting for the very strongly. That's perfect.
Strongly.
God, remember, there were multiple live action Grinch movies, right? Or was it just the one?
Just the one, but there's been a few
Myers?
Animated ones.
There's the newer one that has the Tyler the Creator soundtrack.
Oh Jesus!
What?
Wait, Benedict Cumberbatch one, the Grinch, that one.
The newer one has the Tyler the Creator. He raps over the soundtrack and actually some of the songs seem pretty good. Mr. Grinch.
All right. Well.
But did Ian do plugs yet? He didn't, right?
No, he did not.
I don't have much to plug. I play bass in a bunch of bands. You can listen to B. Hamilton, Strange Light, and/or Kowloon Walled City on the streaming platform of your choice, or find us on Bandcamp. That's really all I've got going on these days. Thank you guys so much for having me. This was so fun. Always a joy to talk movies with y'all, and especially when it's the real good shit like The Player.
It's been a long time since we had you on. We should have you on more often. For a while, we were planning on having you and Ross on both, and I don't know, that didn't happen. But
I was just waiting to get COVID.
Cool story.
Yeah.
Next time Forrest gets COVID,
I was licking the bar, being like, "Come on, we gotta have Ian back on."
Didn't Ian? Aren't you guys playing Roadburn next year?
Yeah, Kowloon Walled City is playing Roadburn.
Amazing.
And we're in Europe for a couple of weeks. I don't know what's been officially announced, so I can't say, but it's going to be worth your while.
Check your local internet. Check your local internet.
Check your local internet.
I'm a big B. Hamilton fan. I always have been. I can't wait to eventually see you play in B. Hamilton.
Heck yeah.
The most recent record is one of my favorites of the year. I know you don't play on it, but
no, I don't play on it. Let the record reflect. I do not play on it, so I am. You can that it totally rules.
It kicks ass. It's great,
and I'm not self-aggrandizing. Yes,
it will be when I mention that best of the year. Every year I do a wrap up my favorite records of the year. It is on there and it is up high.
Heck yeah,
I'll say that. So
it's on my list as well. Thank you, Conan. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, and maybe I don't know. Maybe someday I'll ask and you guys can play with us. That'll be great. It's been 12 years, so yeah, okay.
But ours are that it will happen.
We have the know-how, we have the technology.
You have final thoughts about this movie?
Me personally, 10 out of 10, no notes. Everybody should see it. Watch it again if you haven't, because it had been a while for me, and I got so much more out of a rewatch. It's just brilliant.
Kristina, final thoughts.
Probably top 3 Altman for me.
Easy.
You know, Popeye's definitely number 1, you know, obviously.
I think I'd say top 3 Mudball movies, but anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe top 5.
I mean,
I got a few other dark horse.
I mean, it definitely is like it kind of is a precursor for a lot of what's going on now in Hollywood. I mean, he was kind of ahead of the game when it comes to the studio and
or at least
all
the
that.
first
So it was always fascinating.
The first one willing to say it, right? Like because of where he was at the time.
He had an axe to grind, and he chopped.
Yeah, he really had an axe to grind. So did you have any your final thought?
Yeah, I mean, look, I've said it many times. This is an all-time favorite film for me. I think it's the bleakest dark comedy, satire, drama, and a great entry into the movies about movies category, which is why we're covering it for this month. I have opined about it plenty already. I love so much of it. I love that half of Hollywood does cameos in this, and there's so many.
We tried to do it in an hour last time when we first covered it, and you can't even get through all the cameos in that.
I used to be still listing off cameos exactly. I also would highly suggest that if you like the type of humor of this movie, that you do check out The Studio, which is at very least a spiritual sequel, if not a literal sequel to it, streaming on Apple TV Plus. You have to, of course, be into the Seth Rogen of it all, but it's done with great care, which might sound kind of weird. And
all right, 25 words or less.
Oh my god, that was an incredible impression.
That was honestly, that was really good.
You close your eyes, you would not know that was not him.
You should hear Jordan Peterson.
So wait for the after party for that. For the love of fuck, please. Bryan Cranston plays Griffin Mill in that. And so, like I say, when it's at very least a spiritual sequel, there is a Griffin Mill character. It's played by Bryan Cranston, and it is great.
He's like, say my name. You're Griffin Mill. You're goddamn right.
One of my favorite movies. I feel like we did cover this on one of the crossover episodes years ago with This Is Revolution, and we kept it to an hour somehow. We got a much more substantive conversation out of this. I feel really good about it. Ian, it's great to have you back, and let's not make it however long it's been till the next one.
Yeah.
I would say.
So we'll be jumping over to the after party, in a few minutes here. But this has been good. If you guys have any ideas for extra cameos, we'll gladly take your suggestion. Arnold Schwarzenegger was going to be on. He said no.